start again. It's a rich thing.
What's going on, everybody? It's the Bull Show, aka Aiden, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be talking about a player that has absolutely stepped up for the Chicago Bulls recently, and of course he is our max contract player. His name is Zach LaVine. The last 3 games for the Bulls for Zach LaVine has been really solid, really good stuff, and it does make me believe and start to question if Zach LaVine can really remain this consistent for a long period of time. But not only that, can Zach LaVine do enough to change the minds and hearts of every Bulls fan across the world? Before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show, turn notifications on, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about Zach LaVine, and do you think he has this performance, this style of play especially, in him for the foreseeable future? Zach LaVine got his max contract at the beginning of this season, basically during the off season, and my initial thoughts on Zach LaVine getting the max contract was, I kind of felt like it was the only move we can do. You lose Zach LaVine for nothing, you lose in that situation. You underpay Zach LaVine, you have the risk of other teams going and paying more, and you lose in advance as well. The only real possibility that I thought we could get out of Zach LaVine is that we sign him for the max contract, rightfully or wrongfully so, or we do a sign and trade and we try to go and tank again. And the Bulls obviously made moves that were put in place to make sure that Zach LaVine would re-sign for this team. So, the Bulls signed him, max contract and all, and Zach LaVine is now our highest paid player in the entire Chicago Bulls franchise history. That should be a big honor for Zach LaVine. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, he has not been able to meet those standards on a consistent level. You could blame his injuries. Understandable if you do. You could blame the fact that a lot of people question his leadership, that question his ability to make a consistent effort every single time. People often call him a one-dimensional player. There are loads of reasons why many people believe Zach LaVine should not be a max contract player. But I turned my head to the last 3 games. The game against the Philadelphia 76ers, when he went absolutely crazy. The game against the Utah Jazz, where he went absolutely crazy. The game against this time out against Boston, where yes, we still lost the game, and Zach LaVine was bad most of the night, I would say, especially from an efficiency standpoint. But when we needed him, Zach LaVine was there, almost single-handedly brought us that win, and unfortunately wasn't meant to be. But again, a true sign of a player that is willing to take the next step. So the question does go, forget about the past. Forget about what he's done in a Bulls jersey last season or earlier this season when there were injuries under his name and where there were some really bad performances under his name. You could list some of the even better performances that we've seen, like Detroit as well. The question that I have for you guys now is, looking at those 3 games for the Bulls, do you think that level of play is going to be consistently good or consistent for Zach LaVine in the future? Now, you might say it's not fair to say Zach LaVine needs to score 40 points or 35 points every single game. I agree with that, but I'm not talking about the points tally. I'm not even talking about the assist tally and rebound tally. I'm not looking at stats whatsoever in this instance. I'm talking about how he can change the game at any given time. How he attacks the basket and is now making very consistent layups. How his 3-point shots are now coming a lot more from the catch and shoot range than just fade away threes every single time that he takes a 3. These are the things that I'm looking at for Zach LaVine, and I'm asking, can this be consistent? Can he consistently also be a very good mid-range shooter? These are the questions that I have about Zach LaVine and whether or not he can get the job done. I'm also going to say, can his defense be as consistent as it is now recently? Because his defense has been very good for the Bulls. And for someone that is considered one-dimensional, I am believing that he's starting to change a lot of people's mind on the defensive end. That's all fine and good. I respect the hell out of that from Zach, and I really hope he can keep that level up. But that's the big question for everybody here. Can he keep that up? Because if he can keep the style of play that he has going on a consistent basis, if he can keep up his defensive energy and playing for all 4 quarters defensively on a consistent basis, then I will eventually feel he is starting to earn his max contract. Then you have that question of, is the team around him built well for him and all of that? That's for another time. Right now, we got to focus on Zach LaVine getting himself right on a consistent basis before we turn to the team itself. Because right now, a lot of people have said Zach LaVine has been letting this team down. But thankfully, over the last 3 games, we are starting to see Zach LaVine really be a confident version of himself. And that's something I'll take every day of the week. With all that being said though, there is one more question I have to ask. And I haven't really mentioned anything about this yet, but I do feel like we're getting to that point where we will have to talk about it eventually. Has Zach LaVine done enough in your eyes? And if he continues to play this way, will Zach LaVine do enough in your eyes to put him in the All-Star game? Because I think at the beginning of the season, we were saying no one deserves to be an All-Star. I think by the middle of the season, and kind of where we are now, people are saying DeMar DeRozan should be an All-Star and nobody else. And if Zach LaVine keeps playing like this, and the Bulls continue to win, and their streak elevates even further, and we're above 500, then a lot of people will begin to say, Zach LaVine should be an All-Star. That's how I feel the situation going. But at the same time, you look at everybody else playing around the league right now, and there are some incredible players on this team. It is very, very hard for Zach LaVine to get into that conversation right now. But if he keeps balling like this, he has a great month in January, very solid month in February, at least the start of February, then things might be able to turn around for Zach LaVine, and I could not be happier for him if it does. But I do have that question to ask you. Personally, I don't know the answer. I don't know, because you have to think about every other team and every other player in the NBA that's absolutely balling out right now. But if Zach LaVine keeps this level up, at least in Bulls' minds and Bulls' hearts, we'll know, even if he doesn't make the All-Star game, Zach LaVine might be back and he might be better than ever. And then we can hopefully focus on what's to come, and that's the playoffs. If we can make it, that's hopefully trying to compete with other teams if we can make it, and the overall future of the team. We'll see what type of future that may lead to. But thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. That's all I really got to talk about in this video. I believe Zach LaVine is changing people's minds and changing people's opinions. I just wanted to be consistent. Again, in the Bulls Weekly, I said Zach LaVine was the player of the week, and it wasn't even close. But I want to talk about this in a month's time. I want to talk about this in February and saying Zach LaVine has completely changed the way that he has played, and he is playing with so much confidence that it's not even funny, and that every other team in the NBA is scared to verse Zach LaVine. And that's what I want to talk about in a month's time. But 3 games is a good start. And to be honest, it's been more than 3 games. It's been a solid stretch for Zach LaVine. But these 3 games have absolutely stood out for him, in my opinion. So let's wait and see what he can do in the future. It's all about what's next. It's all about what he can do next. If he has one bad game, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Everybody's entitled to a bad game here or there. It's the NBA. It's competitive basketball. Sometimes you're allowed to have bad games. But how he responds from those bad games as well. I'm looking at all these things into my, I guess, hope that Zach LaVine can build his way into that All-Star contract, or that max contract in total, not the All-Star contract, but maybe into the All-Star game. Anyway, have a wonderful and safe day. I'll see you in another Chicago Bulls video. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.